It would appear that the Liberal government just can't get anything right. First, they tried to appoint Justin Trudeau's ski buddy, David Johnston, the former Governor General, as the special rapporteur to look into foreign interference into our elections. Well, fast forward, a new inquiry has begun just recently, but it too has its problems. Hello, I'm Adrienne Batra. With me are Brian Lilley and Warren Kinsella. Warren, set the table for us, for those, the majority that have not been paying as much close attention to what has gone on with this beginning of the inquiry. It's had some hiccups, would be a charitable way of putting it, I would think.
Well, all of us really wanted to have a public inquiry. The Canadian public was 71% of Liberals wanted to have a public inquiry into Chinese interference in our elections in 2019 and 2021, but also interference by the Russians, the Indian government, and so on, because we've had a lot of problems. We've been targeted by a lot of these nations in a hostile way. So all of us really, really wanted this to happen. And it just seems, it's like Keystone Cops. Mrs. Hogue has been making a lot of rulings that have been causing controversy. For example, denying standing to the Conservative Party that we know was targeted by the government of China, the Chinese regime, to prevent them from forming government. We've got organizations that have also been similarly targeted, pulling out because they don't have any confidence in it. And then we have individuals who I won't name, but have been identified as CSIS, as people who have been compromised by the Chinese regime being given standing. So it only started this week, Adrienne, and it's already a mess.
Brian, I just from the perspective of those that vaguely recall hearing about some foreign interference, oh, that's not a good thing, let's all have this inquiry. Well, here we are with the inquiry, and I'm going to fast forward to perhaps 6 months' time from now when the rulings will come out, and I'm going to guess that the headline will be Liberals do nothing wrong in China interference, foreign interference scandal, and nothing to see here, folks. What's your take?
Well, I was hopeful at the beginning because when Justice Hogue was appointed, I thought, okay, I don't really know who she is. Had a few people whom I respect reach out and say, oh, this woman's sharp. She's really good. She'll be no nonsense, by the book. And I thought, okay, well, let's let her do her job. And as Warren said, these rulings leave you wondering, will she do her job? And when there were complaints from the Conservatives saying, well, wait a minute, we don't have standing, but the government does. She said, oh, the government of the day does not represent the Liberal Party of Canada. Okay, you are so politically naive at this point. The government of the day is the Liberal Party of Canada. You know, politically, they're not going to go in to defend the bureaucracy. They're going in to defend themselves politically. And they get to see all the documents. They get to cross-examine witnesses. The Conservatives don't. One group, the representing Uyghurs, has already pulled out saying, we do not feel comfortable being cross-examined by these people that Warren alluded to but didn't mention. Other groups representing other Chinese Canadians say they may pull out. And so this thing's going to fall apart. And I worry that you're right. In 6 months' time, it'll be nothing to see here, which is what we've gotten in every single report. We've gotten, okay, there's stuff going on, but we can't tell you about it, but just trust us. No, I don't think people are trusting the entire apparatus anymore. They were warned time and again about interference and whistled past the graveyard. Unacceptable.
Warren, what do we know about the justice that is overseeing this? I mean, just based on what you and Brian have both said and what we've all seen, not only is this such a significant and serious issue, we always are hearing about interference in other democracies around the world, but here it is on our in our backyard, literally. We do have a federal election coming up. Some of us hope sooner rather than later, but how are we supposed to have confidence that this is going to have an acceptable result when the justice seems to be very happy? I don't know who appointed her. I don't know much about her to be a judge, but back in the day. But how do we have confidence that this is someone who's not another partisan hack?
It is essential that we have confidence in this. Like, this is about the very center, the heart of our democratic system of government. Like, we need to know whether there was interference in our system. And because it calls into question everything, every election result, every win, every defeat, all of it is under a cloud of suspicion right now because of these allegations that have come out, well-founded allegations about interference. All of the parties were involved. Initially Trudeau, as you pointed out off the top, he had his ski buddy Johnson participating, as a special rapporteur, whatever the hell that is. Well, he quit when he realized that nobody would accept him. So Dominic LeBlanc, who became the point man on the file, had to reach out to the other parties. So there was consultation on Madam Justice Hogue. She's a Quebec jurist of some considerable experience. She's been around for quite some time, but she has no experience with respect to politics, with respect to the actions of governments and political parties in this way. And that was really important. A lot of us felt that she had that experience because this is a tricky file. And so, but we were willing to give her the benefit of the doubt because all of us called for this inquiry to take place. Well, it was finally happening. Here we go. And as Brian pointed out, there's been a number of rulings and a number of decisions that are already causing us to have a concern about what the outcome will be. And when are we going to get a decision? Are we going to get it before the election takes place? I think we would need to know that. And so we've got a lot of problems here, and it's very disappointing because all of us wanted this one to work.
Well, the problems began with a giant question mark about the very people who were part of and were targeted, Brian. They were not even allowed to have a standing, and I'm talking about some of the Conservative MPs that we've written about that had accusations against, had targets against them.
Eventually, she did allow Michael Chong to have standing, and I can't imagine a public inquiry into this issue without him being able to see all the evidence and ask or have his lawyers ask questions and cross-examine witnesses. He is one of the ones who was named, not the only one, by the way. NDP MPs were named as well. Basically, anyone that spoke out against China. One of the other issues with this inquiry, though, is originally it was supposed to be about Chinese election interference. That has been the biggest issue. There is some foreign interference by India, most of it trying to deal with Sikh diaspora politics more so than our elections. But it has morphed into adding in India, which does some election interference, Russia, which just wants to undermine, and now they're adding in Iran as well. So this inquiry is being watered down, and I'm not sure that we're going to get the answers that we need, whether it's Michael Chong, whether it's the political parties, whether it's the diaspora communities, who, by the way, are the targets of much of this interference. I think we're going to be sorely disappointed in the end.
Well, do you think that we are going to find out and get to the bottom of this foreign interference scandal with this inquiry? Let us know what you think in the comments below. Like and share this video and go to our YouTube channel and hit that subscribe button. You can also go to thetorontosun.com and you're going to find commentary and coverage there you will not find anywhere else.